Today we're looking at mBirble, a Silver 2 Kiriko. They requested this review on the Overwatch University subreddit, where they wrote, "My whole team said I didn't heal the tank at all, but scoreboard stats seemed average enough to me that I didn't understand why they were blaming me. Stats also showed that everyone from both teams performed at similar levels, so that's the other thing that I didn't understand, why everyone performed similarly, but we went 0-3. Should I for the future play as a healer with more carry potential like BAP or Moira instead?" So these posts kind of worry me, where it seems like you might be looking for validation after getting flamed, but hopefully you are legitimately looking for tips on how you can play better. As far as stats go, the fact that you're saying both teams had similar stats, but yours went 0-3, that shows you why stats don't really matter or tell you the story of the game. Like, for example, you could have the most healing in the lobby, sure, but what was the quality of that healing? Like, were you just hard focusing the tank, letting your DPS die? Were you not going for enough damage? Or, going for damage at the wrong time and letting teammates die? Things like that. So don't worry about, farming up good stats or good healing damage. Think about doing it to the right people at the right times. And hopefully I will help you out with that as far as decision making goes. So we'll get right into the VOD. First thing we always want to do is take a look at our team comp. So we got Ramatra, Soldier Mei, Kiriko, Mercy. Okay, ideally I think Mercy should pocket Soldier. I'd like to see you, Mei, and Ram all kind of play as a unit. That's ideally how I think this comp should be played. Let's see how it actually goes. Yeah, your Mei kind of trolls there, so I'm interested to see. Maybe this is like a troll duo or something that decided to be toxic to you, but I don't know. So yeah, you're a little bit passive to start. I get it. Like, you want to be careful of, for example, the junk spam. You just took that. But especially early on in the fight, we want to be thinking about, going for damage before our team starts taking a lot of damage ourselves. Just because these early moments, putting pressure on people is crucial. Oftentimes, the team that can put the pressure on first is the one that ends up winning the fight. So always think about, early on in the fight, before your team starts taking damage, I want you just chucking out kunai there. And yeah, just be a little bit careful about swift stepping out in the open here. I mean, granted, Ram's got his shield up. We're rotating here, but we didn't necessarily know we'd be safe. Especially, I think you were back here. You could always just think about angling out instead. Yeah, you always want to save swift step to escape when you're in danger. Okay, go for more kunai. See, your team's full HP. Like, granted, they're taking damage now, but, when it's just little chip damage or they're not critical, I want you thinking about just chucking kunai at the enemies. Yeah, go after the hog, I guess. Your whole team's focusing him. We get him. And that was a good headshot there, so. Go after the Kiriko. Nice.
Cool. I'm on the objective.
Rest easy.
Draw strength from nature. Feel better?
Okay, that right there. Your Suzu. Let's talk about that. So your team's, basically full HP here. Your Mei's taking a little bit of damage, but that's okay. She's getting healed. So Soldier, I get it. He's crit, but he has a Mercy beam on him, and he's ducking behind cover. And you proceed to Suzu your team anyway. You want to try to save that for, if people are out in the open and that they're going to die otherwise. I want you to try to identify those moments, when your team has, this pillar to duck behind. They're not in imminent danger of dying, and you can hold on to that Suzu. Because, what if the enemy team comes in with an ult, which they should get pretty soon. We want to ideally have it for that instance.
Feel better?
And yeah, once again, you're playing a little passive, like your team's basically full HP. I want you to recognize that, and I want you to be going for damage otherwise. Because, like I said, the team that puts the pressure on first is usually the one that ends up winning. If your team is collectively not putting enough pressure on the enemy, they could just, they could just push right through you. But you guys do get the kill on the Orisa. That's a little unfortunate with your soldier. Yeah, I mean, your ram and your soldier kind of died fast. I don't necessarily blame you for that, but at the same time, like I was saying, if we had been putting a little bit more pressure on the enemies, that might have just made them a little bit more hesitant to push in like they did. Little early on the Suzu for the junk tire, but I understand. You could always try thinking about, after you swift step, you could try to, wall climb, try to get even further away, just so you can see it a little bit clearer where the junk tire is coming from, and then you can, time your Suzu properly. Just something to think about.
Rise and shine.
Yeah, you guys want to regroup here. Alright, so we have basically all our ults here. I just want you, because it's silver, to be a little bit careful about how you use yours. Opening up early with a Kitsune could be really good, but one of the tough things that really happens at this elo is, like, your team might just blow all 5 ults, and then, sure, they might win the fight, but then you'll have no ults for the next fight, and that could just put you in a tough spot. So, yeah, I don't necessarily think it's bad to Kitsune, but I just want you wary about, like, say, like, your Mei opens up with Blizzard, and then, like, your Soldier visors. If you guys are already investing 2 ults, I want you to hold on to Kitsune, and then wait and see if it's still necessary to win the fight. You can't really control how your teammates use their ults, but we can just try to think about, conserving our ult ourselves if our teammates blow them really fast. Same thing, we could be going for a little bit more damage here. Yeah, so we popped 3. Okay, we popped. Yeah, I mean, that's a little tough. I think Kitsune Visor is an amazing combo, but at the same time, your Mercy popped her ult, Ram popped his ult. That was the big mistake right there, but yeah, this is really tough. We've invested 4 ults, and then even if we win this fight, hopefully our Mei doesn't use her Blizzard, but yeah, even if we win this fight, it could put us in a tough position for next one.
We're pretty good together.
Okay.
Thanks for looking out for me.
Yeah, you can think about playing. You can play with your Mei. Think about just getting some early damage out. That's good that you got the Moira though, or your Mei did, I should say. Yeah, I really want you to think about just poking out with some kunai. You can play around this cover right here. I want you to go after the Orisa. When the Junkrat pokes out, go after him. Just, put some pressure on the enemies, make them hesitant to push into you guys.
Draw strength from nature. Careful, we're outnumbered.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So, Junkrat goes for the tire. So we should be paying attention to that, because instead, we're I think we're looking for the Junkrat, but I think we see the tire go by us, so we should really be thinking about angling off with our team and at least trying to get the Suzu out to stop that. If you mess up the timing, it happens, but you want to at least try to counter that. Because what happens is you go after the Junkrat instead, and then he gets a 3k. Yeah, very, very tough. We potentially could have prevented that if we had just been, you know, focusing on the ult instead of, you know, chasing people.
We're outnumbered.
You guys still gonna ult this, though? Oh, that's tough. Okay. Yeah, keep hiding. Yeah, so I think, you know, you did what you could. I think you could have held on to Suzu, you know, and waited until, like, the soldier was actually putting pressure on you. You were kind of safe at the time you used it, but yeah, it's tough. I don't know if there's much you could have done regardless. The big mistake, like I said, was not at least trying to counter that junk tire.
The spring flows anew. This might hurt more than usual.
Flashpoint.
Where are your DPS? I mean, I get it. It's your Ramatra's fault for really pushing up early, but you want to make sure, like, okay, Soldier's here, but yeah, May's still way, way back there. You guys ideally want to think about full regrouping before you push in for the next fight. It can be tough, you know, but yeah. I guess since it's one person, it's not terrible, but May could just be huge for helping ensure your team wins the fight.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Okay, yeah, that Kitsune placement. So you threw it right here in response to Orisa, but like the enemy team and the point is right over here. So I get you guys wanted to go after the Orisa. I think you're trying to, you know, May's walling her off. You're trying to kill her first, go after the team. But ideally, what I would have done is I would have used the Suzu over here so you guys can push in and, you know, control this space instead. Yeah, it's tough. You were kind of exposed to this lane and got, you know, burst down by junk spam. So that's a little tough. You just want to be aware of that. But big mistake is, you know, I think we maybe should have held on to Suzu. We could have dealt with the Orisa, then maybe, you know, thrown Kitsune out over here. Something like that instead. You definitely want to think about placing it in the space that you want your team to control.
I'll just keep on rising.
Zarya, ready for duty.
We do have a Zarya now. I think that'll be a lot better. I don't think we needed that Suzu there. Yeah, so we kind of Suzu'd really early once again, you know, before our team was really in imminent danger of dying, and then we proceeded to not have it for another junk tire. So you just really want to watch your ability usage, especially like an ability that impactful, you know, that can cleanse and make people briefly invulnerable. You really want to think about what it's going to accomplish when you throw that out. And now that it, you know, it just got the 1 second nerf too, so it's not a huge deal, but at the same time, it just means you have to pay even more attention to using it at the right times. You maybe finish off the Orisa. Yeah, she got healed. That's a little tough. Same thing, you know, Zarya had the bubble. You could have held on to Suzu, waited for her bubble to expire. Then, you know, if she continued to take pressure, then Suzuing her could have been good. But yeah, that ability usage is... getting that down is very crucial. You want to use it to, ideally, you know, if they have an effect you need to cleanse, like a purple, like a Junker Queen ult, Yari ult, you want to make sure you have it for that. If they don't have that, you want to make sure that you're using it to prevent deaths. Using Suzu to prevent deaths. Go for more damage. That was a really good Suzu. You timed that perfectly to counter the result. That's what I want to see you doing. Yeah, it's a little tough. I mean, maybe we could have ducked behind the car a little bit more, but at the same time, Soldier deleted our teammates as well, so. It's just them, you know, coming in with a bunch of ults, and we didn't, you know, really respond with anything ourselves.
Can't keep the sun down.
Flashpoint unlocked.
My senses are sharpened. I'm with you.
So we could think once they commit, you know, we have our Kitsune Rush. We could think about, you know, throwing it down on point if our team's playing down here. If we can get, like, you know, Soldier, Zarya up on high ground, you know, we could maybe think about, like, throwing it up here or, like, throwing it so it, like, goes off the high ground onto low ground. Things like that. But that ult will definitely be crucial for helping us take control at this point here. Yeah, like, I would just be throwing it out right now, to be honest. And you guys do get a couple kills, but it is a little tough.
Let the Kitsune guide you. I feel all warm inside.
Yeah, like, your Torb died and Mei died. Torb got rezzed, but even so, if we had thought about throwing that Kitsune out a little bit sooner, we could have maybe just won this fight a little quicker before that happened. Looks like we're gonna, yeah, we capture point regardless, but just those are the things I want you thinking about. Like, just pay attention to your team's ults. It was pretty much just, you know, you, Mercy, and Mei that had the ults. You could always think about just throwing the Kitsune out early at the beginning of the fight, as soon as your team's on the space, just to make sure you guys win.
Rise like the sun.
Be careful.
I'm here.
It's okay to poke for damage, but yeah, just I think you did a good job swift stepping to get away. But, you know, instead of hanging out, like, right in the main area where you know the whole team's going to push in, you could think about, like, playing off to the side, playing around a corner, just trying to, you know, catch someone by surprise. Maybe you can get, like, a sneaky double headshot. Just things you could think about. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but right idea otherwise. Yeah, definitely go for a little bit more damage.
Carried on the wind.
Heal your Zarya. Yeah, that's a little... So she's almost full HP here. Yeah, she gets burst down. We want to think about... Yeah, I think we, like, tried to heal the enemy team, which I get it. You know, we all make mistakes, but it's a little tough. Your Zarya did get burst down at the same time, but we definitely could have been healing her a little bit sooner. You want to think about, you know, going for early damage. Then once you see your team taking pressure, once you see the crit symbol, you want to just go for the healing on your teammates.
On your horizon.
But like I said, I'm not sure in that specific instance you would have necessarily been able to do anything, but
Destroying your light.
yeah, so Junkrat's over here. He's spamming down this lane. You just want to be really careful about playing down here, because, especially because it's a small space, those grenades are going to bounce around, and yeah, if he lands 2 on you, you're dead. So I would just think about, you know, just moving away, like, just trying to get away from that. You know, nobody's really going to be an imminent threat to you from over here. You know, maybe with the Kiriko and the Sim with her secondaries, but at the same time, those are projectiles, so you can kind of see them coming. Point is, though, like I said, I would just think about moving out, opening up, getting away from this area where the Junkrat's spamming. Heal up your Mercy. Yeah, keep moving away. Yeah, exactly. So we didn't move out of this area. Junkrat just continued, you know, firing his grenades in this small space, and they bounced around and killed you.
What's up?
You want to avoid small spaces against Junkrat, especially ones that he's actively controlling. We do get res here, though. You want to think about going for a little bit more damage. Those are some good shots there, but we gotta... Yeah, I don't think we're gonna push in. Yeah, it's a little tough. I definitely think one thing that really hurt us was just not going for enough damage. Like, you said that your team flamed you for not healing enough. I think you healed too much overall, except a little bit at the end where we missed some opportunities. But for the most part, especially early on in fights, I want you thinking about just going for early damage, putting pressure on the enemy team before they put pressure on you. The other really big thing that I saw was just your Suzus. You know, try to save it to cleanse effects if they've got something big like we talked about, like a purple effect, like an Iari ult. If they don't have that, which was the case in this game, you really want to think about using it to prevent deaths, like against, you know, that junk tire. There were a couple times where we either, you know, the first time I think we timed it wrong on the first point, and then the second time we were going after the Junkrat himself and he got a 3K. So just always think about, you know, using Suzu to prevent deaths and counter ults. But that's all I have for now. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If anyone would like to request a VOD review, check the link in the description, and best of luck with your climb.